All right, here we go. Act 5. Ready? Are we alive? Yes? The question is Hero alive? Right? So we ended Act 4 finding out that with the interrogation of the guys who were arrested, those are the ones who had All right. So they have interrogated Conrad and Borachio, found out that Hero was definitely wrongly accused, right? And we've also heard the report that everybody believes her now to be dead, right? So, Act 5, page 355. For Antonio. Okay, the Antonio. If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee cease thy counsel, falls into my ears, not the wisdom wanted. Give not me counsel, nor let the comforter delight my ear, but it's such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine.
Right, so I don't want to take advice from anybody who doesn't understand what I'm going through. So Leonardo feels like he has been horribly wronged in this world. The last time we saw him, he was telling Hero not to live and saying he wished he'd never had one child. Now, we're not really sure. He's definitely upset. Is he upset because of what Hero did, or is he upset because he thinks that they have wronged Hero? It's hard to say yet.
Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, thus for thus, and such a grief for such, and every lament branch shape. If such a one will smile and stroke his beard, and sorrow wag pride hem when he should groan, catch grief with proverbs, make misfortune drunk with candle wasters, bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. There is no such man, or brother. Men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves cannot feel, but hasten it. Their counsel turns into passion, which before would give preceptile medicine to rage. Fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air and agony with words. No, 'tis all men's office to speak patience. To those that bring under the load of sorrow, but no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral who shall endure so like himself. Therefore give me no counsel, my griefs cry louder than advocates.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
I pray thee, please, I will be flesh and blood, for there was never yet philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently. However, they have rid the style of gods and made it push a chance in sometimes.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too. So apparently Leonardo has started to take things on himself, maybe feeling a little bit guilty about the way that he responded and treated his daughter, because now she's dead, right? So Antonio says, well, don't just blame yourself. You should blame the people who wronged her.
Thou speakest reason, nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall the prince, and all of them thus dishonor.
All right, so now he's totally changing his position, that in his soul he knows that Hero is belied, which means that they're lying about her. So he is completely shifted from accusing her and saying that she's lying to now saying the men have lied about her. So here come these liars, Prince Don Pedro and Claudio. Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily. Who's Don Pedro? Okay. So we want to be Don Pedro today? Thank you, everybody. So we take over Antonio for me if I take Don Pedro to do the big part? Sure. Okay, thank you. All right. Good den.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonardo.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, almost one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself quarreling, some of us would lie low.
wrongs him.
Mary, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou, nay, never let thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Okay, so it's kind of ridiculous, right? He's like, don't grab your sword at me, like he thinks that they're threatening him. Leonato's an old man, and Don Pedro and Claudio are recent war heroes, right? It's ridiculous to think that they would challenge them to any kind of fight. But Leonato is really, really mad about his daughter and thinks that they would try to fight him because he would want to try to fight them.
Mary, the shrew my hand. If it should give you your age such trouble dear. Faith, my hand meant nothing to the sword.
Hush, hush, man, never flair and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool, as a privilege of age to brag. What I have done being young, or what would you what were I not old? No, Claudio, to thy head thou hast wronged my innocent child from me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by. And with gray hairs and bruise of many days, you challenge age to trial of man.
Right? So he's like, even though I'm an old dude, okay, you have pushed me so hard by ruining my daughter that I have to put aside my age, and I'm absolutely challenging you to a trial of man, which means duel, which is absurd because he's a super old dude, and Claudio would knock him over if he pushed at him, right? Keep going.
I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she lay buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of her, framed by thy villain. Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it ere on his body if he dared. Despite his nice strength and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lusterhood.
Right? So even though he's young and capable and much more fit than I am, I'm still gonna knock him down because I'm so mad.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daft me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou hast killed me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
We shall kill two of us, and men indeed. That's no matter, let him kill one first. Win me and wear me, let him answer me. Come follow me, boy. Come, sir boy, come follow me. Sir boy, I'll lift you from your jointy fence. Nay, as I am a gentleman, I will.
All right, so Antonio jumps in as well. They're both challenging him to a fight.
Brother,
Content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she is dead, slandered to dead by those that dares well answer a man indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops,
Brother Anthony,
hold you content. What man I know them yet? And what they weigh, even to the utmost struggle, gambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys, rat lying, hog and clout, depraved and slander, go antically and show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst, and this is all.
Right, so they're all talk. Anthony is basically challenging them, saying, yeah, they look good and everything, but they're just all talk. We don't have to worry about them. We can take them.
but Brother Anthony,
Come, 'tis no matter. Do not you meddle, let me go in this.
Gentlemen both, we will not wait your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she is charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
my lord,
I will not hear you.
no, come brother away, I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
All right, so Leonardo and Antonio, the brothers, leave. And here comes Benedict, who, has sworn that he's going to keep this secret about Hero still being alive. And he's also told Beatrice that he's going to challenge Claudio to a duel in her honor, right? So Don Pedro and Claudio have no idea that this has all gone down, that he and Beatrice have already confessed their love for each other. They just think Benedict is still the guy who has sworn off women. All right, Cece, here comes the man we went to seek. Sir Claudio.
Oh, sorry. Just about 175?
No, 110.
Sorry. Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost welcome to part, almost afraid. So they think it's kind of funny, like That actually was almost a fight with those old men.
We had like to have had our two noses snapped off, two old men heads.
Leonardo and his brother. What thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
All right, so Benedict doesn't jump in on making fun of the old men. He says in a false quarrel, there's no true valor. If you had actually fought those men and won, you don't really win because there's no honor in beating up old men, right? That's one meaning. But there's also no honor in beating up people who are when they're on the wrong side, right? If you beat them up, you're wrong, is what he's getting at. He's trying to show that he's on Team Hero, not on Team Claudio. Claudio?
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high with melancholy, and would fain have it my way. Wilt thou use thy wit?
All right, so now they pull out their swords to do like a pretend jousting kind of thing. A lot of puns going on here because they're asking Benedict to be funny, to act like he usually does. But keep in mind that Benedict isn't really wanting to be funny. He's literally wanting to challenge Claudio to an actual duel.
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I forbid thee draw to do these minstrel strong pleasure.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
Take courage, man. Wilt thou care kill the cat? Thou hast done enough. Thee kill care?
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career and charge it against me. I pray you choose another. Is that what?
I can't even say it. I think it's one of the like the swords. So don't worry about it too much. Claudio?
They then give him another stack. This last from across.
Do this light. He changes more and more. I think he'd be angry indeed. So they're starting to suspect that Benedict is not just having fun with them here. He's actually trying to hurt Claudio.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
All right. So solid, serious challenge. Okay. He's taking Hero aside. He's challenging him 100% to a fight.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have good cheer.
What? A feast? A feast?
I thank him he hath been reached with outside master, which I do not crave, curiously save my life's song. Shall I not find a good to adapt to?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. So this is kind of like coming up to a couple that's been dating for 3 years of high school and then starting to tease them about liking each other. They completely missed that whole part of them admitting that they liked each other and having a relationship. It's really not fun anymore to tease somebody about liking somebody that they've been dating for 3 years. That's the same kind of thing. So Don Pedro hasn't figured out that Benedict and Beatrice are seriously committed to each other at this point. So much so that Benedict is going to try to kill Claudio for him, right? So I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said, thou hadst a fine wit. True, said she, a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Right, says she, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, said she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night, which he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue. There's two tongues. Thus did she an hour together transshape thy particular virtues. Yet at last she concluded with a sigh, thou was the properest man in Italy. Claudio?
Yes, sir. For the which she wept heartily and said she cared not.
Yeah, that she did. But yet for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, She would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
All, and moreover. God saw him when he was in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yeah, and text underneath. Here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Right, so all this teasing, Benedict, go ahead. How's it hit ya?
Fare you well, boy, you know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor.
Right, so it totally shuts him down, like, whatever. Like, you're joking, your teasing doesn't affect me at all.
You bring jests as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies I thank you. I must discontinue your company.
Right, so he's quitting. He's like, no way am I gonna hang out with this dude anymore and be his officer, because you guys are a bunch of losers who killed an innocent woman.
Your brother the bastard is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord left fear there. He and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
All right, so a little bit of a news update that Don John has fled away, which would suggest that he might be guilty of something if he fled away from the town, presumably due guilty. All right, he is in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and I'll warn you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee?
Most sincere.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his Dublin hose and leaves off his wit. All right, now here comes the constables, right, with Dogberry and Burgess and the watch, Conrad Baraccio, so everybody who's just been examined. Claudio?
He is then a giant to an ape, but then is an 8-foot doctor to such a man.
But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall never weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once. You must be looked to.
How now? 2 of my brother's men bound? Baraccio one? Claudio?
Sorry.
Harkin?
Hearken after their offense, my lords.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruth. Secondary, they are slandered. 6, and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying maids.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offense. Sixth, and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned and in own division by high law, with one who may well suit it.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine. Answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes, what your wisdoms could not discover. These shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the Lady Hero. How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal. With my death as a repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine, and my master's false accusation. And briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of God.
All right, so spills it all, right? Totally confesses. Apparently, the idea of Hero actually dying because of what he did made him feel pretty guilty, and so he just is confessing it all. Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison while better.
Right? So yeah, he should feel like a piece of crap, Claudio, right? Feels like he just drank poison because he thinks he just killed Hero for no good reason, and actually he has no idea that she's still alive. But did my brother set thee on this?
Yeah, and paid you richly for the practice.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled as he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear, the fair semblance that I loved at first.
Come, Bring away the plaintiffs. By this time, our sexton hath informed Signor Leonato of the matter, and masters, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve. That I am next.
So you buzz that on the record. Claudio is having the exact reaction that the friar hoped that he would, right? Once he finds out that Hero is actually innocent, he's gonna feel like a total piece of crap and want her back. Too bad, so sad, except not. The whole plan is to bring her back, right? All right, Leonato, here he comes. His daughter's name's been cleared. He's gonna have a little fun with messing with Claudio and making him feel terrible.
Which is the villain that we see his eyes that, which I know another man like him may I avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wrong, look on me.
Thou art the slave that hath, with thy breath, hast killed mine innocent child?
Yeah, even I will.
No, not so, villain. Thou feelest my
Elias, so you're lying about yourself. You're not the only one who did this. He's not gonna let Claudio and Don Figure off the hook that easily just by letting Borachio take all the blame.
Here stand a pair of honorable men, but their display that have had a hand in it. I thank you, princess, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray in patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself, those who do what penance you revenge, and lay it upon my state. Seek thy God, mistake.
All right, what do you think? Do we give Claudio a free pass? He says he only sinned in being mistaken, in thinking that Hero was actually cheating on him. What do you guys think? You say no, don't give him a free pass?
I mean, I don't think it's like, she's not really bad, but like, she should have publicly shamed her. But I don't think he's like directly guilty.
Okay. By my soul nor I, and yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
Oh, I bid you, I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible, but
Which
I
is totally wrong, right? He can 100% bid her to live. He's the only one who can. He's totally got that power because
Wait, what's that guy?
to bid means to make somebody do it. He said, I can't bring her back to life. That's impossible. And actually, it's 100% possible because she's not really dead. He just wants them to suffer a little bit. He's not going to let them off the hook that easily.
But he knows she's not really there?
Leonardo?
Yeah.
He 100% knows that she's not dead. Remember, that was all part of the friar's plan to hide her away so that hopefully they could clear her name and Claudio would come to his senses and want her back. And if they couldn't clear her name or Claudio didn't want her back, they could at least just send her off to some religious life somewhere and she wouldn't have to live in shame.
But I pray you will, because that's what people in Messina hear, how innocent she died, and if your love can labor audit and sad and bench, hang her epitaph upon the room and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since not he my son-in-law, he yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, a Mr. copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the bright youth that should have given her cousin, so dies my revenge.
All right, so this is a little tricky. They're not talking about Beatrice because her uncle is also Antonio. And so they've got supposedly some niece that nobody's ever seen before, and Claudio needs to come tomorrow and marry her. I think there's a reality TV show about this, right? You like show up at the altar and you just agree to get married, right? There you go. So that's the deal. Claudio's got to come tomorrow. Not only married to somebody at first sight, but somebody, like, wouldn't you kind of wonder, why hasn't anybody ever seen this other niece before? Like, what's wrong with her that she hasn't been allowed out in public, that nobody knows her or knows of her? She's like the crazy niece in the attic or something? Is there something mentally wrong with her? Is there something physically wrong with her? But Claudio's got to just agree to marry her sight unseen. Claudio, what do you say?
Noble sir, your open kindness doth bring tears to me. I do embrace your offer with no receipt, but henceforth
Right? He agrees. Can do it. You know?
Tomorrow then I will expect your coming. Tonight I may take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was attacked in all his wrong.
Hired to it.
I declare to you.
No, by my soul she was not, nor knew not,
Yep, nor do not.
nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always hath been just and virtuous, and anything that I do know about.
Right, so again, Margaret's another one we have to think about. Is she completely innocent in all this? I mean, she did have sex in the window and called Horatio while she was letting him call her Hero. And she knew the next day that Hero was accused of doing this. She knew it was her. She could have spoken up. She could have cleared Hero's name, right? So Horatio says no, she didn't know anything about it. That's up to you guys to decide. Dogberry?
Moreover, sir, which indeed is not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. And also, the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long, and never paid that now. Men grow hard-hearted, and will lend nothing for God's sake. For you examine things on that.
I think these were like fair and honest things.
Your worship speaks like most thankful and reverent youth, and I praise God for you.
It was for that.
God save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and
I leave an arraigned knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself, for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
until tomorrow morning, Lord, farewell.
Very Antonio.
Oh, I think I was.
Okay.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight, I'm on Zero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret. Have her acquaintance.
All right, back to Benedict.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, to serve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For in most comely truth thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me, why shall I always keep mortal stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth it catches.
And yours as blunt as the fencer's spoils, which hit but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret, it will not hurt a woman. And so I pray thee, call Beatrice, I give thee bucklers.
Give us the swords, we have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think hath rights.
And therefore will come the God of love that sits above and knows me how pitiful I deserve. I mean in singing, but in loving. Leander the good swimmer, Troilus the first employer of panders, and a whole book full of these quondam carpet mongers, whose names yet run smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady but baby, an innocent rhyme, for scorn horn, a hard rhyme, for school fool, a babbling rhyme, very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming pen, nor I cannot move vessel.
Right, so he's having a hard time. He can be super sassy. He can come up with all kinds of insults and dirty joke puns, but he's having a hard time writing actual love poetry now that that's what he's trying to do. Here comes Beatrice. Still you though.
Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yes, Senor, depart with the business.
Oh, stay, but till then.
Then it spoke with him, fare you well now. Here go, let me go with that explanation. Which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only follow words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Follow words is what follow with, and follow with is what follow back, and follow back is voice of, therefore I will depart from this.
Thou hast frighted the word out of his right sense, so forcible is thy wit, that I must tell thee plainly. Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. I pray thee now tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which may seem so like
Politic.
so politic to say to people that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think, alas, poor heart, if you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that as my friend.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peacefully.
It appears not this confession, there is not one wise man among the 20 that would praise himself.
An old instance. Beatrice that lived in the time of good neighbors, if a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in the monument than the bell rings and the widow weeps.
And how long is that with you?
Question. Why an hour in clamor and a quarter in dream? Therefore is it most expedient for the wise, if Don Worm find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself. So much for praising myself, whom I myself will bear witness is praiseworthy. And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill,
And how do you?
very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and men. There will I leave you to, for here comes one in case.
Is that Ursula? I don't remember. She was the one who was connected with Antonio at the dance, the old lady. All right. Madam, you must come to your uncle yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused. The prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go here this news, Senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy thighs. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
All right, so back to Claudio. He's got to make his tribute to Hero now at her tomb. She hasn't gotten the word. He has not gotten the word yet that Hero is alive because they want to make it suffer a little bit. Claudio,
This is the moment of Leonardo.
monument. So they're at the graveyard. It is, my lord.
Done to death by slanderous tongues, was the hero that might have your life.
Burden.
Burden of the wrong gives her fame which never died. So the life that died with shame gives in death glorious fame. Think thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am found. Now music sound and sing your solemn hymn.
You don't have to sing it.
Pardon me, night. I don't have to
No, you don't have to sing it. Sing it. Just say it.
Pardon me, goddess of the night, those that soothe thy virgin night. With the witch, with songs of woe, round about which they go. Midnight as the sun low, helpless to sigh and groan. Heavily, heavily, graves gone, and you are to the dead. Till death be uttered, heavily, heavily. Now unto the bone thy bones good night. Here will I do this right.
Good morrow, masters. Put your torches out. The wolves have prayed, and look, the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round about dapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well.
Good morrow, masters, each his several way.
Come, let us hence and put on other weeds. And then to Leonato's we will go. So they have to go change their clothes because it's wedding time. Claudio's got to get married to Mystery Woman.
And then now with one of your issues, this crystal rendered of this world.
All right, so back to the altar. Oh, did I not tell you she was innocent? Leonato? Alex?
So the Prince and Claudio who disturbed upon the error that you persuaded, but Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, it appears. And the true course of all the question.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Well, I'm glad that all three sorted so well.
And so am I, being else by faith enforced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlemen all, withdraw into a chamber. By yourselves when I send you, come there masked.
Right, so back to the masks, like we had at the beginning of the play with the men wearing the masks. Now the women are gonna have some kind of like heavy veils over their face, so Claudio can't see who he has to marry at the altar.
The Prince and Claudio promised by this hour to this king. You know your honest brother, you must be father to your brother's brother, and give her to young Claudio.
Right, so clearly Antonio is not the father here, right? You must be father to your brother's daughter. That's code for hero, right? Antonio's got to pretend to be the father of the bride, when actually it is Leonato's daughter.
Which I will do with confirmed confidence.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think,
To do what, Signor?
to bind me or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth it is, good Signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, has lent her is most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
Slight whereof I think you heard from me, Claudio. But what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is
Enigmatical, it's puzzling. He doesn't realize that they both got tricked into falling in love with each other.
but for my will is your good will. May stand with ours, this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good prior, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with you like
And my help. Here comes the Prince and Claudio. Good morrow to this fair assembly.
good morrow, Prince, and good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you, and you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter.
I'll hold my mind for she.
Call forth, brother, here's the friar.
Good morrow, Benedict. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm, and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bold. Tush, fear not a man, fear not man. What's if that one go, and once you're over did, just act, must love, judge. When
So rejoice at me. Oh, wait, I'm lost where you are. Keep going.
when he would play the noble beast in love.
Old Joe, sir, had an amiable love, and some such strange bull left your father's town, and got a calf in that same noble feat. But like to you, for you have just his feet.
All right, so here come all the women wearing their veils or their masks.
For this I owe you, here comes other recompense. Which is the lady I must seize upon.
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then she is mine, sweet. Let me see your face.
No, that you shall not till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
All right, he's playing hardball. Can't see your face, so you actually marry her.
Give me your hand for this holy prayer. I am your husband, you like me.
So Hero takes off her mask.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certain there. One hero died, proud, but I do live, and as surely as live, I am a maid.
A former hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but wells for slanders lived.
All this amazement can I qualify when after the holy rites are ended. I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonders seem familiar, and to the chapel let us present.
Soft and fair, friar, which is Beatrice.
So Beatrice takes off her mask.
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
I know no more than reason.
Why then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived? They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no, no more than reason.
Why then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did. For they did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore that you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me.
No, truly, but it turned the comfort.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her. So there's a paper written in his hand, Elton cement with his own grave, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, right in my cousin's hand, stolen from the pocket containing her affection unto Benedict.
All right, so they pull out love letters that they found that they wrote to each other, so they've got solid proof that they are actually in love.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I will become great persuasion, and partly to save your life, but I will still do it in a consumption.
Peace, I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what. Prince, a college of whip-crackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No, if a man will be beaten with frame, a shall wear nothing handsome about him. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can against it, or can say against it, and therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think you to have beaten me, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, that I might have puzzled thee out, thy single life make me a double dealer, which out of question thou wilt be, if my cousin do not go exceeding narrowly.
Come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we have lightened our own hearts and our wives' heels.
So have dancing afterward.
Words of my word, therefore play, music. Prince, thou art sad, get thee a wife, get thee a wife. There is no staff more reverent than one tipped with gold.
Here comes the messenger. My lord, your brother John is taken in flight and brought with armed men back to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise thee great punishments for him. Strike up heifers.
All right. Let's wait until 44. We can come back and watch it. I'm not sure if we'll have time to for this today. Or we'll take it first thing tomorrow. How long? What movie is left? Okay.